Cicada 3301. On January 4th, 2012, a strange black and white image appeared on 4chan. The image contained only white text on a black background, claiming to be a puzzle designed to recruit highly intelligent individuals. But hidden inside the image were layers of complexity. Players quickly discovered that it contained cryptographic codes, steganography, where images hide secret messages, and even references to ancient literature like the Book of the Law by Aleister Crowley. As the puzzle unfolded, players uncovered GPS coordinates. When they traveled to those real-world locations, they found posters with QR codes that continued the trail. These posters were spread across the globe: Poland, Spain, Australia, the United States. This wasn't just an online riddle anymore. It was something international, massive, and deeply secretive. The ARG, now known as Cicada 3301, quickly became famous. Who was behind it? Nobody ever found out. Some believed it was the CIA or NSA trying to recruit talented hackers. Others thought it was a private intelligence group. Some even argued it was a cult or a secret society looking for new members. Over the years, new Cicada puzzles would emerge in 2013 and 2014, each more complicated than the last. But here's the strange part. Once certain players solved the puzzles, they disappeared. Nobody ever heard from them again, and no concrete explanation has ever been given. What makes Cicada 3301 terrifying isn't just its difficulty, it's the unknown. The fact that someone had the resources to spread puzzles worldwide, the fact that the puzzles seemed almost impossible, and the fact that we still don't know who or what was behind it. To this day, Cicada remains an unsolved riddle. This is my Milwaukee.
This is my Milwaukee too. Why not make it yours?
Imagine stumbling across a VHS-style promotional video that looks like it was made for a city tourism board. That's how This Is My Milwaukee begins. At first, it seems like a cheesy, old-school corporate film. It talks about the city of Milwaukee, its people, and its industries. But very quickly, things start to feel wrong. The video introduces a fictional biotech company called Blackstar. It hints that this company is responsible for creating something monstrous that devastated the city. References to containment zones, toxic environments, and a bizarre creature called the King of Bears appear in the narrative. The upbeat corporate tone clashes horribly with the terrifying subject matter. Soon, websites connected to the project were discovered. Phone numbers could be called, and strange messages would play on the other end. At times, the ARG felt like a parody of corporate culture, mocking how companies put a cheerful face on horrifying practices. But at other times, it leaned into surreal horror, suggesting apocalyptic scenarios that blurred the line between satire and nightmare. What made This Is My Milwaukee confusing is that it never gave clear answers. Was it horror? Was it comedy? Was it some kind of elaborate social commentary? Nobody could tell. The disturbing imagery, mixed with absurd humor, created a surreal tone that unsettled players deeply. It wasn't just scary, it was uncanny, like watching a fever dream disguised as a safety video. The Jejune Institute, San Francisco, 2008. Flyers began appearing around the city, advertising an orientation at something called the Jejune Institute. Curious participants followed the instructions and ended up inside an office, where they watched bizarre videos and received secret missions. What they didn't realize was that they had just stepped into one of the most elaborate ARGs ever created. The Jejune Institute spread across the entire city. Players were led to hidden radio frequencies, guided to mysterious street performers, and drawn into encounters with actors playing eccentric characters. One day, you might be told to find a hidden payphone in Chinatown. Another day, you might be asked to climb a building rooftop to spot a hidden symbol. What made the Jejune Institute terrifying was its complete immersion. People weren't just watching videos online, they were living the ARG in real life. At times, participants genuinely feared they had been drawn into a cult or government experiment. Was it art? Was it a conspiracy? Nobody knew for sure. Eventually, it was revealed to be a massive art project created by Nonchalance, an art collective. But for many who took part, the experience felt too real. For years, players debated whether parts of it had been real conspiracies disguised as art. That inability to separate fact from fiction is what made the Jejune Institute one of the most confusing ARGs ever created. The Wyoming Incident. It begins with what looks like a simple news broadcast. Then, the screen glitches. The audio distorts. Suddenly, unsettling faces fill the screen. They're warped, stretched, and inhuman, staring directly at the viewer. Then words appear, "You will see such pretty things. We are not responsible for what we are about to do. Annie Ford has so jazz with a 19 the Rav." This was the Wyoming Incident, a short video uploaded online that quickly spawned an entire ARG. Players began digging into the hidden codes embedded within the video, uncovering strange websites and cryptic text. The further they went, the more surreal and horrifying the content became. Some players believed the ARG was about government mind control experiments. Others thought it was tied to real broadcast hijacking. The faces in the video seemed almost human, but not quite, triggering an uncanny valley reaction that disturbed nearly everyone who saw them. The problem was that the ARG never offered clear answers. Clues led to dead ends, and lore seemed scattered across disconnected websites. Some players quit out of frustration. Others speculated endlessly, building theories upon theories. The Wyoming Incident is confusing because it feels incomplete, as though it was designed not to have an ending, and it's terrifying because it looks like something real. A hijacked TV signal is something that could actually happen, and the warped faces feel like something you weren't supposed to see. I love bees. In 2004, before the release of Halo 2, a strange website appeared online. It looked like a normal site about beekeeping, but it had been hacked. Strange messages appeared, written as if an artificial intelligence was breaking down. At first, people thought it was just a website glitch, but then GPS coordinates began to appear. These coordinates pointed to real-world payphones. At specific times, those phones would ring. If someone answered, they would hear a robotic voice.
What's your name?
This is Onitech Alec with the Berkeley crew. Lieutenant Watson.
Giving them
Lieutenant
instructions.
John
Across the
Mann.
world,
Lieutenant
thousands of players
Rogan.
organized to be at the right phones at the right times. Together, they pieced together the fragmented story of an AI gone rogue. I Love Bees was eventually revealed to be part of the marketing campaign for Halo 2, but it didn't feel like marketing. It felt like an alien invasion bleeding into the real world. Players described standing by a ringing payphone in the middle of the night, picking it up and hearing a robotic voice speak directly to them. The line between game and reality blurred completely. It was terrifying not because of gore or monsters, but because of immersion. People weren't just watching a story, they were inside it. Ong's Hat. In the 1980s, pamphlets and underground zines began circulating strange rumors about a group of scientists in New Jersey. The story claimed that in an abandoned town called Ong's Hat, these scientists had created a device called the Egg, which allowed them to travel to other dimensions. The tale mixed real-world locations with bizarre pseudoscience and conspiracy theories. Over time, the story moved onto bulletin board systems and early internet forums, where it spread even further. Some believed it was fiction, others were convinced it was fact. That uncertainty is what made Ong's Hat so terrifying. Unlike later ARGs, which were clearly framed as games, Ong's Hat never revealed itself as fiction. Some people still believe it was real, a cover-up that slipped into public knowledge. For many, it remains the first true ARG, an alternate reality that may not have been all that alternate. Ben drowned. In 2010, a story began circulating online about a used copy of The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. The player who bought it discovered strange glitches. Link would suddenly teleport to the wrong places. Music played backward. Characters behaved unnaturally. And most disturbing of all, a statue known as the Elegy of Emptiness seemed to follow the player around. The story became known as Ben Drowned. It began as a creepypasta, but quickly evolved into a sprawling ARG involving websites, hidden files, and an entity named Jaducible. The ARG told a story of a boy named Ben whose spirit haunted the game, and a digital virus that spread beyond the cartridge into the internet itself. What made Ben Drowned confusing was how deep it went. The creator expanded the story across multiple platforms, adding layers of lore, hidden videos, and coded messages. What made it terrifying was the corruption of nostalgia. Something safe and beloved, like a childhood video game, had been turned into a haunted, cursed object. Local 58. Local 58 is an analog horror series made to look like old television broadcasts from a small local station. Each video is short, only a few minutes long, but incredibly unsettling. In one episode, a normal weather broadcast glitches into impossible warnings. In another, a government emergency alert instructs viewers to commit mass suicide during an invasion. One episode is a children's cartoon where hidden messages urge kids to look at the moon, even though the moon itself seems malevolent. What makes Local 58 confusing is that there's no clear story. Each episode feels like a fragment of a much larger horror narrative involving aliens, government conspiracies, or cosmic forces. But nothing is ever explained directly, and what makes it terrifying is its realism. It looks exactly like an old late-night broadcast you might stumble across by accident. The grainy visuals, the glitches, and the authoritative emergency alerts make it feel all too real. Monument Mythos. The Monument Mythos reimagines American history in the most surreal and horrifying way possible. It presents an alternate timeline where U.S. monuments aren't just symbols, they're cosmic artifacts with terrifying power. The Lincoln Memorial, the Statue of Liberty, even Mount Rushmore are all connected to supernatural entities and government conspiracies. One moment, the series feels like political satire, mocking American patriotism with absurdity. The next, it plunges into cosmic horror, describing entities that consume reality itself. The constant shift in tone makes it deeply confusing. You're never sure whether to laugh or be terrified. What makes the Monument Mythos stand out is its ability to twist familiar landmarks into symbols of dread. These are places we all recognize, reimagined as part of a nightmare history we were never meant to know. EverymanHYBRID began in 2010 as a goof goofy YouTube fitness channel. The creators posted parody workout videos, joking about healthy living. But soon, strange things began happening. Slender Man appeared in the background. Viewers discovered hidden puzzles in the videos. What started as a parody slowly transformed into one of the longest-running and most complex ARGs on YouTube. The story expanded to include not only Slender Man, but other monsters, secret organizations, and an interconnected web of lore spread across Twitter accounts, blogs, and even real-world locations. EverymanHYBRID was confusing because of its sheer scale. To follow the story, players had to track dozens of platforms, accounts, and puzzles. It was terrifying because of its slow reveal. A fun fitness channel gradually became a living nightmare, where the characters you'd been laughing at were suddenly being hunted by something inhuman.